1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Ayesha Nayab. First, the headlines. Pakistan has condemned the increasing harassment, illegal arrest and registration of fake criminal cases against journalists and civil society activists in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The CNN, Amnesty International, Genocide Watch and 17 other human rights organizations have expressed concern over the plight of Muslims in India. Information Minister has assured that the government would provide state-of-the-art healthcare facilities to journalists and their families. Minister for Science and Technology has categorically rejected media reports about cost of manufacturing EVMs, saying it will cost only 60 to 62 billion rupees. Crackdown against non-compliance of coronavirus SOPs and unvaccinated people is continuing across the country. A prominent Sudanese pro-democracy group has conditionally accepted the UN's offer to broker an end to political deadlock in the country. And now the news in detail. Pakistan has condemned the increasing harassment, illegal arrests and registration of fake criminal cases against journalists and civil society activists in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In a statement, the Foreign Office in a statement said the reported attack on Kashmir Press Club manifestly reflects India's entrenched use of brute force and coercion to forcibly silence those raising voices against its horrendous crimes in the valley. He said India's state-sponsored terrorism can never weaken the resolve of Kashmiris for their right to self-determination. The spokesperson also called upon the international community to hold India accountable for its unabated harassment and illegal arrests of journalists, human rights defenders and other civil society activists in the held territory. India has entered into a very critical phase of a communal strife after the Hindu zealots led by Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh inspired Bharatiya Janata Party leaders have openly called for genocide of Muslims and persecution of other minorities through extreme ploys. This alarming situation was expressed by experts during congressional briefing by President of Genocide Watch, Dr. Gregory, in Washington, D.C. Indian and foreign media reports are rife with repeated incidents of persecution of minorities, including lynching of Muslims and Dalits, destruction of churches, and encouragement of vigilantism. It also included trolling of scholars, detention of activists, harassment of movie stars, erosion of fundamental rights, distortion of history, usurpation of social media by hate speech, fake news, and propaganda. According to experts, the reason behind the rise of the Hindu extremist groups is the impunity and support by Modi-led government. The CNN, Amnesty International, Genocide Watch, and 17 other human rights organizations in the United States have also raised similar concerns about the plight of Muslims in India. The Human Rights Watch, in its latest World Report this year, said that Indian authorities have intensified their crackdown on activist journalists and other critiques of the government using politically motivated prosecution. The clampdown on dissent is facilitated by the draconian counter-terrorism law, tax raids, foreign funding regulations, and charges of financial irregularities. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Chaudhry Fawad Hussain says the government will provide state-of-the-art healthcare facilities to the journalists and their families. Talking to newsmen at Lahore Press Club today, he said families of journalists and members of press clubs in Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa will be given health facilities up to 1 million rupees at both the government and private hospitals. The Information Minister said journalists throughout the country will be provided subsidized houses under Naya Pakistan Housing Scheme. Earlier, the Information Minister distributed Sehat cards among journalists. Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid Ahmed says the government will complete its 5 years constitutional tenure and continue its agenda of serving the people. Talking to newsmen in Rawalpindi today, he said past rulers plundered the national exchequer, while Prime Minister Imran Khan is committed to strengthen the national economy and address inflation through wise decisions. The Interior Minister said approval of Finance Supplementary Bill 2021-22 is a great success of the government and its allies. Talking about protest marches announced by the opposition, he said the government is not afraid of such marches. About prevailing political situation in the country, Sheikh Rashid Ahmed said public will witness positive developments in next 2 to 3 months. This is Radio Pakistan. Minister for Science and Technology Shibli Faraz says those who are spreading false information about the total cost of EVMs to be used in the general elections are misleading the people. In an interview with APP, he said the manufacturing of electronic voting machines for general elections 2023 in the country would cost approximately 60 to 62 billion rupees. He said these EVMs could also be used in other elections like local government and bar councils. Shibli Faraz said media reports about the total cost of EVMs from 300 billion to 400 billion rupees are totally baseless. Advisor to Prime Minister on Commerce and Investment, Abdul Razak Daud says the government's trade diversification policy has boosted the country's exports in non-traditional markets. Talking to APP in Islamabad today, he said the main objective of the government's trade diversification policy is to introduce new trade products and create new non-traditional markets at global and regional level for increasing domestic exports. The advisor said the Ministry of Commerce has launched the Look Africa campaign in search of new unconventional markets and has also done a lot of work on Central Asian markets, which has resulted in increasing the exports. He said new industrial units are being set up to boost domestic exports in information technology and light engineering, including tractors, fisheries, electronics and mobiles. He said the country's exports of non-traditional products have so far grown by 60% in the last 4 months. Crackdown against non-compliance of coronavirus standard operating procedures and unvaccinated people is continuing across the country. According to details, teams are inspecting and sealing non-compliant shops in various parts of the country. The teams of the health department vaccinated various people on the spot and also issued notices to unvaccinated people. Nepal sent about 12 tons of humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan today. Foreign Minister Nirjana Khatkak called it Nepal's moral responsibility to offer aid to Afghanistan, a fellow member of the South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. He said the assistant goods, including medicines, garments and utensils, are included. A prominent Sudanese pro-democracy group has conditionally accepted the UN's offer to broker an end to political deadlock following the October military coup. In a press statement today, spokesperson for the Central Council for the Forces of Freedom and Change, Jafar Hassan, said that the council decided to accept the invitation of the United Nations mission to support dialogue between the parties to the Sudanese crisis. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Farooq Habib says the government is taking steps to promote traditional games like Kabaddi in the country. He was talking to newsmen after the closing ceremony of 42nd National Kabaddi Championship held under the Prime Minister Kamyab Jawan Sports Drive in Lahore today. He said under the direction of the Prime Minister, a special talent drive is being launched to pick players of various sports and will be trained in 12 sports academies. And finally, the weather. Cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold and cloudy in upper and north areas of Balochistan during the next 12 hours. However, light rain with snowfall is expected at isolated places in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan and North Balochistan. Dense fog is likely to prevail in plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh. Now some of the headlines once again. Pakistan has condemned the increasing harassment, illegal arrest and registration of fake criminal cases against journalists and civil society activists in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The CNN, Amnesty International, Genocide Watch and 17 other human rights organizations have expressed concern over the plight of Muslims in India. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.